Okay, I had to turn my camera on because I have so many problems right now. I got really sick and tired of hearing how some military YouTubers actually let me say this. When it comes down to making videos, I feel like a lot of people who aren't in the military go to YouTube, right? They go to YouTube, try to find information before they join, get all the information they possibly can. I remember almost a year ago, I did like the same exact thing. And if you're watching this video, you'll probably think about going in the military, joining, going through MEPS or whatever. But I'm a little pissed because I feel like a lot of people who do these vlogs or have a military channel do not be real about a lot of stuff that goes on. And I feel like there are people who don't be real with people. I feel like there are people who don't tell all aspects or like a true perspective of what it's really like being in the military in general. It's not all glitz and glam, and it pissed me off when some like YouTubers do that. Like whoever is a military YouTuber, there are some that actually want to fabricate this whole lifestyle as though it's like perfect, but when in reality it's not that easy at all. And it's really irritating how sometimes people have the nerve to post certain videos. At the end of the day, you're going to post what you want to post, but I just want to be real with people. Like, there's never a time where, like, no, there's rarely a time where people are real on the internet. And sometimes it's no telling if that person is, like, real or genuine, genuine or not. And it can be very misleading. What I'm getting at is that there are a lot of times when I have joined or when I've been sitting at work and I've been thinking about like what my life was like versus, how my life was before I joined versus now. And I do a lot of thinking, like what a lot of times when you first join, there are times where you think about, oh, look, I'm gonna do this and this, and I'm gonna have this much money in this car and get my life together and leave. And you don't really think about like the main things, like all your friends, your family. You don't think about certain things. Like there's like milestones, but like blocks. You kind of like, you just skim over. You don't think about when you're actually in that situation. I mean, some people try to prepare for it, but when you're in it, when you're in that situation, it's very hard for you to actually deal with it and cope. A lot of people who are enlisted have this problem where they have a hard time coping and then they suffer in silence with a lot of different things. Nobody ever wants to talk about depression or, just drinking problems or smoking problems or whatever it is. They don't want to talk about the issues of, like, there are different sides. There are dark sides in the military and there are good sides, just like with any other organization. This is just so happen to be, the military is just like another career or things outside in the civilian world. And a lot of times people get that, the whole concept of you joining, serving, making all this money, they don't pay attention to certain things. There are problems they could really run into. They get blindsided. A lot of people get blindsided by things. I have been a victim of that because I have my ups and downs throughout the day. Most of the time at work, I'm quiet. And when I'm off work, I'm in my room and doing whatever, talking to my camera. But this is like my outlet for certain things because I feel like there are certain people out there I wish I can reach out to and tell them, like, if you're thinking about making a decision as to joining, do not base your one decision or, don't base your one decision off one person's experience just because you heard them on YouTube. And you really want to do a background. Like, not everybody decisions. Like, I remember I used to go on Reddit and I used to watch these videos before I was an airman. And I like really was like, wow, this is like the lifestyle for me. Like, I really want. They seem like they have everything, like nice family and kids and a car. And what about the stuff you're gonna do after your enlistment? Like, I know you think about like the now, but a lot of people don't really think about like the future with certain things. And then they hit like a plateau. They hit like a brick wall because a lot of people focus on what's going on now, focusing on a temporary situation and thinking about it as like a permanent situation, and it's not. Like, I hope that makes sense. Like, a lot of times people always try to rush into they get into marriages and get a house and a car and kids, and there are several reasons like why, and I realize what are some of those reasons, but I don't know. I just feel like what I'm getting at is that a lot of people can be very, I know they jump to conclusions on certain things based off what they see, but like nobody ever wants to talk about certain real topics. Like, did people know that like when you join that you have to go through all these different like programs and classes involving depression and sexual assault and very sensitive topics, even when they touch upon that at BMT? Like, they at Airman's Week we had to talk about some very sensitive stuff like rape, and we don't like, I didn't expect to talk about that kind of thing because nobody talks about it on the internet whatsoever, obviously, because it can be very sensitive for people. But like, those are things you go through. Like, you have to go through certain classes and talk about those things during your training, and it constantly gets brought up. We have things called green dot training and red dot training where we talk about crimes that do still happen, but nobody talks about it at all. And this is not a video to degrade the military whatsoever, or to degrade people who make videos or think about joining. I don't want to deter people. It's just the fact that I feel like certain things aren't really being portrayed properly, and sometimes that gets under my skin. Now, for my videos, I usually try to portray, me. It's just me, I don't try to be somebody else or the best person with, this luxurious lifestyle, because at the end of the day, this is not easy. This is not easy. I think about the stuff about how my life was, last year, the beginning of last year, almost, a year ago, starting next month, and how I left my friends and family behind, and how I can't really go back to that because I signed a contract, and my contract is 6 years. Now, put yourself in my shoes. I'm a single airman. I don't have a wife, kids, husband, nobody, honestly. I don't have nobody here on this island. I live all the way in upstate New York. Think about the diversity that I have to, like, the people that I encounter. Like, now I don't have too much things in common with them because they live on different sides of like the world. So everybody comes from all these different walks of life, all these different perspectives, and sometimes people clash with certain things. They might not accept who you are, where you come from, how you talk, what you look like, and it all comes with it. It's not just the military, but like, people got to think about certain things. Like, if you be put in these certain situations, you don't really, you didn't really prepare enough time to think about how you will react and deal and cope with, that particular situation if you yourself were in it. If you were here on the island, here I am in beautiful Hawaii, right? A lot of people think, oh, you're in Hawaii, why would you be sad, or why would you be, you should be enjoying life. But at the end of the day, I'm not here on a vacation. I'm here on a mission. I'm not, familiar. I'm not really here to just have fun and party, even though I like to enjoy. I do those things occasionally on the weekends and stuff. I'm here to do a certain task, and a lot of people portray as though like, you have this wonderful lifestyle, and the internet is crazy. Like, it does that, obviously. And what I want this video to be is like just a wake up call and a warning for people, like whoever's like researching or doing their background in the military. Do your research on things. Like, there's certain things that people don't talk about and I understand, but there are people who suffer in silence. Like, it hit me December when there were people that I didn't even know but were really close by who like committed suicide. And respect to their death, and I don't know who they are, and I'm not going to go in depth with it, but I do want to say that those people struggle. Like, there are so many people that struggle around holidays if you're serving. There are people that struggle, you know, on certain days. Like, I got here on Thanksgiving. I got here. This is my first Thanksgiving here without my family, my first birthday without my family, my first Christmas without my family and friends, and a bunch of important holidays. I'm missing birthdays, my little sister's birthday. I'm missing her going into high school. And nobody really talks about, like, you know, those kind of things that some airmen or any troop might go through. And I just want people to realize that there are a lot of times where you will think that you are suffering alone with certain things, but you aren't. And you might think that you are going through just those things and nobody understand. But I ran into situations where there are plenty of airmen or troops that go through stuff and don't want to say anything. But why do you think we have things like first sergeants and chaplains to talk about those things with people, or talk about whatever you're going through? Because it's a major issue, but nobody wants to talk about in the military. So I just want to, like, touch upon that, because it was some things that I just felt like some military YouTubers don't really touch upon, and they have this fantasy. They portray this fantasy that the military is 100% great, but there are a lot of times where people are struggling with things and coping. And I just want people to know that anytime you're just deciding to make a lifelong decision like this, do not base your decision off one person's experience, because everybody's experience is different. Everybody's. And I'm not the strongest or the most biggest, you know, YouTuber that been doing this. You know, I'm not that big, but that's not really important. What my message is that you can go through these different things, but you're not alone, and you can be yourself, and you shouldn't care what people think of you. But, like, it's just certain things that people should know before they think about joining. And I just hope people do not get false information. And that's why I'm also here to just bring or shed some light into certain things that people do portray on YouTube, because it's not always a luxurious lifestyle. And it's even harder if you're single. You're a single airman or troop doing this kind of thing by yourself. Like, the dorms are not all that great. But, you know, this is just something I just wanted to bring up. I hope this just brings some light to you guys. Like, this is just something I just had to put out there. I hope this video really did make sense. It's just a lot of things that just kind of bug me sometimes when people are bringing information out or experiences out, and they filter out the BS, and, you know, or I don't know, it's just certain things that I just feel like people don't be genuine with. And I just had to bring that up. But I do apologize for this long video. I thank you guys for watching. Good luck on your journey. Good luck researching. Please do a lot of research. Look at a lot of videos. Do your research. Because at the end of the day, you are putting your life on the line, and there are certain things that, you know, you should be checking for yourself and not just basing off one person's experience. All right, guys. I will see you guys later. Aaron May out of here.